Get you all here. I usually like to start with a little breathing meditation, so to speak. It's just to get us centered and make sure that we're all in this room in spirit, mind, body, and spirit. So, would you just keep your feet grounded on the floor, your palms open on your thighs? And if you would close your eyes, if you prefer not to, that's okay too. And just take a nice, slow, deep breath. And hold it at the count of 4, 2, 3, 4, and release very slowly. And each time you breathe in, just remember to breathe in the clean, clear energy of the universe that is going to just fill your presence tonight. And as you breathe in, visualize just a white light coming from above. So breathe in and let that light pour right into your top chakra, your head, your face, your shoulders, and drop any stress or negativity from the day. Let it go. Drop your shoulders. Let that light come through to your heart. Keep dropping your body into your seat. Push any energy right down through your stomach, through your thighs, through your legs, right down to the earth. And let the earth soak it up. In your last deep breath, I want you to think of something joyful that happened either today or sometime this week or last week. And breathe in some joy and some light. And let that fill your mind, your heart. And say to yourself, I am here. It is now and I am here. And let it go right down through your body, through your stomach, through your gut, right down through your thighs. And just feel your body relaxing and your mind being relieved. Let it go right down through your legs, through your feet, and into the earth.
And as we're in this great place, we're going to invite to more specifically the divine in to be present with us tonight, to be all of us. And when, because we come from a diverse background culturally and faith-wise, if Rose and I say God, so just replace it with the word that works best for you, whether it's the universe or the creator or divine or Allah. So whatever works for you, but we know we're talking about that same divine presence, the creator. And so we're asking for the creator, the divine, to be present with us and to work in us and to work in our minds and hearts and souls and to open us to our truth about our own purpose, our greatest passions, and to really have some great connections here tonight and to reveal divine truth to each one tonight so we can go forward more and more in our purpose. So thank you as we start this evening and we kick off with our objectives.
Wonderful, Gary. Let me just go back to the topic. Let me remind people what we're here for. So today's topic is actually reignite your passion, purpose, and performance in 2021. Welcome, everybody, to that outstanding topic. We really want to jazz that up in 2021 and get at least 100 people this year following that theme. What will happen is by the end of this webinar, you will understand the 7-step process to discover and act upon your life purpose, You will know the 5 common blocks to clarity and action. You'll have more clarity about your top passions and new insight towards your purpose. You'll be inspired and motivated to pursue your passion and purpose. And you'll be informed of a proven purpose discovery workshop that Gary has spent hundreds of hours working on. So, to that point, I'd like to just talk a little bit about who I'm doing this work with. Some of you know me and others don't, but I'll let Gary tell you who I really am. And I would like to talk about who Gary is. Professionally, for 23 years, Gary had run a very successful national corporate training business and a personal development coaching business, working with over 20,000 leaders, employees, and individuals throughout Canada, USA, and Australia. He was a trusted advisor for many national corporations throughout Ontario until the last 2009 recession. This was a challenging and powerful time of transition to a new and successful career at Bible League Canada. In addition to this, Gary founded Trusting Through the Transition with a mission to help 100,000 people choose faith over fear and pursue their true life purpose to make a difference in our world. Now you understand why I partnered with him. Gary is the author of The Kingdom Promise: How Leading Canadians Choose Faith to Conquer the Storms of Life. Well-known personal development expert Bob Proctor said, after working with Gary, he said, "I have known Gary Bradley for 20 years, and I know he has committed his life to refining the best process to rediscover your life purpose. If you want to live a great, on-purpose, abundant life, then you definitely want to listen to what Gary has to say." Let's welcome Gary Bradley.
Thank you, Rosa. That's a great introduction. Thanks. We're so grateful that you're all here. And I'm grateful for Rosa. She's such an exceptional woman. Many of you know her. She's spirit-filled. She has a big mission and vision as well. And so it's just a joy and a pleasure for us to partner together on this mission, the mission of 100 people on purpose this year. So let me tell you about Rosa a little more formally. And so with 25 years of experience in recruiting, employee consulting, and career transition coaching, Rosa has become a certified life and career coach after discovering that her purpose was to help people transition to identify, people in transition rather, to identify and pursue their mission and their life's work. And after extensive networking, Rosa realized that over 80% of entrepreneurs were in isolation and struggling to grow their business. So she founded Connecting You. Check it out later, www.connectingyou, where she has developed a proven process of connecting and matching business owners for collaborative partnerships. She is passionate, as you'll see, you've already seen, about building a heart-centered business network of entrepreneurs that truly do support each other and empower each other to live their richest lives, grow the community, and have great local economic impact and growth. So Rosa, thank you. We're ready to begin here. We're a team.
Thank you so much, Gary. And once more, a warm welcome, now that most of the people are here, a warm welcome to all of you. And thank you for taking the time to join Gary and I this evening. We're truly grateful to have you in our presence. So Gary, let's get this thing going. Let's start by letting people know how you got to doing this work and why we're doing it now.
Yeah, so yeah, just the context setting and for all that is that, so yeah, I had, as you heard, my corporate training business, and it was growing great for many years, and until the 2009 recession, which most of us know that corporations spend $0 on trainers and speakers. And that was my case. So I'm working really hard for an entire year, and there's zero income because there's no budget. And so I actually came to a place, I'm a single family income earner, like sole income earner for the family, came to a place of like hopelessness. And it was a really, really, really bad place. I hope none of us have ever been there or ever have to go there. And as I worked through that, because one day the light bulb went off and I was sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And I decided I'm never going to choose to feel, hopeless ever again. And so the light bulb went off and I decided I'm going to start talking to some great people. And so everything transitioned from there. And I realized I wanted to follow my heart, which was to change the industries. And so I did that and I started in fundraising and that went very successful. And then I realized, well, there must be something to this here. I followed my heart and things are going well. I love it. I'm passionate about it and there's great impact. And I started doing some research and I realized, well, yeah, Gary, that's just kind of how it works, and lots of consensus around that. And so that's why we're doing this here now, because it's our goal to help 100 people, as we mentioned, to be on purpose this year, have a positive impact. So that's why we're doing this now, because the world needs you to show up.
You see what happens when your light comes on? Then you can light up everybody else, right? Gary's light came on. So wonderful. I'm personally glad that your light came on because when we met, we lit up a fire together. So, and this is the bonfire we're creating right now. Um, Gary, most people purpose reality is it's hidden, waiting to be uncovered, and sometimes even discovered. Why is it that so many people are unclear and unfulfilled? What do you think that is?
Yeah, it's a strange thing. David Thoreau, who's a great philosopher, says that most people live their lives in quiet desperation, and I would even add, aimless, distractions. And it's kind of like Groundhog Day. It makes me think of Groundhog Day. Who's seen the movie Groundhog Day, right, with Bill Murray? Like the same thing happens every day. Like it's just a friggin' routine, and he's dying because it's just the same old thing. And I don't know about you, but I was in a job once like that and I just felt like I was dying, like I was wasting my life. Has anyone ever felt that way? Maybe in the past, and even now, as business owners, some of you are business owners, you might feel that way some days. Like what's happening here? Like it's a one time. We're here for a one time shot. So we probably feel stuck or unproductive or spinning our wheels, or we feel empty and even hopeless. But certainly
Can you go on to tell us what's the impact if we don't know our purpose? What could that
yeah,
impact?
the impact is like a ship without a rudder. You just get blown wherever it is where the wind blows, or you jump on a plane, you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you end up, or you're in a car driving with no map in a strange country. We feel lost, and it's like Norman Cousins says, that the tragedy of life is not death, but what we let die inside of us while we still live. Let that sink in for a moment. That the tragedy of life is not death, but what we let die, the dreams inside of us while we still live. So one day we're going to be on our deathbed, each of us. And sorry, it's kind of not a great topic to talk about, but it's critically true. And I believe we'll be in one of two places, either in a place of rejoicing, we've fulfilled, we lived a great life, or we're going to be a place of regret. And I know for me, like regret not doing certain things, I know for me, a place of regret would be absolute hell. I don't know about anybody else, but I want to live my life on purpose, so I never end up in that place at all. And Rosa, you're going to share someone who did end up in that place, unfortunately.
Exactly. And, thanks, Gary. Everybody knows the name of this gentleman. He has contributed so much to a world of business. And yet, when he was in his deathbed, his words were so touching to the rest of the world. And Steve Jobs, you know that name? And I'm sure a lot of you heard what he said. He said, in other eyes, my life is the essence of success. But aside from work, I have a little joy. And in the end, wealth is just a fact of life to which I am accustomed. At this moment, lying on the bed, sick and remembering all my life, I realize that all my recognition and wealth that I have is meaningless in the face of imminent death. You can hire someone to drive a car for you, make money for you, but you cannot rent someone to carry the disease for you. One can find material things, but there's one thing that cannot be found when it is lost, and that is life. Your true inner happiness does not come from the material things of this world. Whether you're flying first class or economy class, if the plane crashes, you crash with it. And I'll just read the last little piece. God, he actually talked about God. God gave us the senses to let us feel the love in everyone's heart, not the illusions brought by wealth. The wealth I have won in my life, I cannot bring with me. What I can bring is only the memories precipitated by love. That's the true riches which will follow you, accompany you, giving you strength and light to go on. Love can travel 1,000 miles. Life has no limit. Go where you want to go. Reach the height you want to reach. It's all in your heart and in your hands. How powerful are those words, guys? Say something in the chat and let us feel what you feel when you hear those words. Somebody that the world has seen as so powerful, and the most powerful thing he shared with us are these words, far beyond any business that he has brought to us. With that, I'll take it back to you, Gary. And I want to talk about how we define purpose.
Yeah, so I would define purpose, and then Rosa, you can define it, and we're all probably going to define it in our minds at the same time. And you can make any notes if you want on the handout there. But I define purpose as actually our God-given reason for life. So it's the reason why we exist. You know, it's a specific, we're created. So I'm believing that God, the divine, the creator, created everything in existence with a specific purpose, with a reason. So that includes you and I, right? We're here for a specific reason. We're designed to do something specific in a role. And it's our purpose is our destination and our journey. And I believe it's located within us. And it can actually be a roadmap. And I love what Viktor Frankl says, the author of Man's Search for Meaning, is that everyone has their own specific mission in life, a concrete assignment which demands fulfillment, and you cannot be replaced, nor can your life be repeated. The world needs you to show up like we do. We need each other to show up fully, follow our heart, and do what's in our heart and bring that to the world. And for me, the idea of the creator loves his creation. It brings me comfort because I also know that God is going to want us to fulfill the purpose of his creation. So it gives me great comfort. And he also, God, the source, equips us with some key things to recognize what our purposes are, such as passion, such as following your heart. And so what I've can boil down to is that this statement really is our greatest passion drives our current purpose. I'd love to hear what you think about that statement in the chat. Rosa, what would you say purpose is?
There's always a lot that I can say about that, because since I was a little girl, 8 years old, I've shared with some of my friends and colleagues and clients in my groups that I sat in a little room that we had for our private moments and pondered about, what am I here for? How can I be of use? How can I serve? How come nobody's talking about that? Why is it I'm the only one talking with you, God? What's going on? Where's the conversation? Who can I speak with? So imagine from 8 years old, you've been seeking to find your purpose. And it was when I found things that made me happy, because automatically when I was happy, I could make others laugh and be happy. So I performed, I sang, I danced, and so they always called on me when we had a little gathering. It's like, Rosa, why don't you sing da 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 da, and I would sing all the little hymns. And so I noticed how happy, when one person's heart is happy, that it just spreads like wildfire to everybody around you. You don't even have to try. And so being happy was actually my first discovery about purpose. And it was funny. So I grew up being the life of the party and all of that stuff. But later on, when my father died, I was 23 years old. I realized that there was something more. There's got to be something more, because it was the first time I was totally disconnected from any human beings on the earth, because he was my soulmate, my hero, my next God person. And I thought my life was over. So purpose was out the window. Happy, I couldn't be. I didn't know what that meant. For a year, I walked around like a zombie. But it was when my dear friend took me to Dale Carnegie. And Dale Carnegie's course, 3-month course at 23 years old, brought me back to purpose. And he talked about finding those hidden talents and getting out of yourself and not so focused on yourself, because there are a lot more people in the world who are going through deeper, harder, stronger challenges than you are. And the time you spend to sit and wallow in your own self pity is time lost. You cannot get it back. And I learned how to look up and notice other people again and say, how are you? Is there anything I can do for you? And it was that feeling of serving that actually brought purpose back to my life. And then when I knew I helped one human being to have a better day, therein lied my purpose. It was whatever talents I had, I was going to use it to make somebody else happy. And it was like a natural ebb and flow. So there was nothing that I had to do. Again, it was so organic. It was from that point on, I feel I never worked, because there was nothing to do except to serve and remember the joy and gratitude. So purpose has a lot to do with finding out what your innate skills and talents are, and then deploying that, and not being stingy and holding on to it, being very generous and having it all out, give it to everybody, whether they pay you or they don't pay you, you just keep giving it away. So that's kind of where I'll leave it, because as I said, Gary, we could talk forever on that.
Yeah,
So
so we should,
yeah,
we have a lot of value we want to share with you tonight.
yes.
And so I'm going to go on to talk about, so, and Rosa, you actually talked a lot about this, so maybe I'll just say a few things and then we can move on in terms of the importance and the benefits of knowing and living your purpose. Rosa talked like a lot about those things, about she was just filled with love and was sharing that love. And that's part of it, isn't it? And remember, recall those times for you when you just were loving doing something, you were on a project or you were serving somebody or on a task, and you were just filled with energy and joy and inspiration and even love. Like you just felt great. Remember one of those times?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's really what it is. That's one of the great benefits for ourselves, and but also gives us clarity. And you take a magnifying glass and you focus and harness the rays of the sun's energy into a really strong beam, like a laser beam. There's power there, isn't there? Like there's
Mhm.
power in clarity, and it really gives us meaning to our life, deep meaning, and a roadmap, a great roadmap for the reason for our life, a roadmap for our life, and how we're going to live our life. And one person, and fuel, like it provides those of us who are passionate about something and on purpose. Well, we like there's great fuel there for our life, isn't there? Like it just
Yes,
empowers us. And I want to share a
absolutely.
quick example, and that is most for me, he's one of the best examples of someone who's totally on purpose. And you probably recognize him as an international personal development expert, Bob Proctor. I worked with Bob about 30 years ago for 5 years. It was an amazing experience. I'll never forget the time when they were having financial challenges, and I'm one of the managers, and we're in the meeting in a room, and he says, you'd have to stick a gun to my head and pull the trigger to stop me from doing this work. He was willing to die for his mission. That's purpose. And not that
That
we're going to die, but I mean, that's conviction and purpose.
Yeah, that is. And Gary, you'd be happy to know there's so many comments in the chat about other people, Haley and Mary, and a whole lot of people are talking about how they resonate with what we're saying, and how when they discovered what it is to be happy, the joy they brought to their families and their lives, how much different it is. So thank you all for sharing your comments. It really does fuel us to do this work. Because somebody said, yeah, it reminded us we had 168 hours in the week, and what are we doing? If we just sat down there and think about, oh, I'm feeling so low today, oh my gosh, I better pick up the phone and call a friend and tell her how low I'm feeling. It's like, oh my God, you just lost 2 hours where you could have made 10,000 people happy by just doing another talk somewhere, right? And I know, Haley, you're already doing that. So bless you, and a whole lot of others. One of the other things we want to say about that is when you find your purpose, it really is your compass. It is the one thing that gives you direction. And unless you have direction, you can't have focus. So who cares about how busy we are? It's not about being busy, it's about being productive. So now when Gary and I talk, we don't talk about being busy. We talk about how productive have you been, and it changes the conversation with those people in your inner circle. And I'm sure you've noticed that. Anybody notice that? Talk about that. The purpose is definitely a compass, and it gives you a direction. But folks, I just want you to know, there is a seed of greatness in every human being, regardless of how down you might have felt at any moment when maybe some outside circumstance has caused you to feel low. Because people who are close to us have a very powerful influence and impact on how we feel. Yes? Yes, yes, just put it in the chat, because we know no matter how evolved we are, a parent or lover or friend or sibling can make us feel this small in a very short moment in time. We understand why, but it just happens. Okay. So Gandhi when he found his purpose, he went on and he did something with it. And most of us remember the power that he showed us in this world. Why? Because he found his purpose, and there was nothing to sway him in any other direction but one. He had one sole singular purpose. He said, just think what you could do in the world. He said, purpose is the most powerful motivator in the world. So if we could just remember that example and think, when you find your purpose, what you can do in the world and what an impact you can have on the community. So your joy will be 10,000 times more. Why keep your joy small? Make your joy big. And the way you can make your joy bigger is by impacting a bigger number of people. Agreed?
Absolutely.
You can say yes, agreed in the chat. And that point,
So I just want to add to that, Rosa.
Yes.
So, and the clearer you are about your purpose, the greater your life you will live. You might want to write that one down. The clearer you are about your purpose, the greater the life you will live. Just like Gandhi was clear, just like Bob Proctor was clear, right? So we want to help you get more clarity as we go on here.
That's beautiful, Gary. Thank you. So I'm sure right now a lot of you are stirred inside and thinking about your own journey and have feelings of joy and fulfillment that you have chosen a path. And then some of you may be feeling a little twinge of regret. So I want you to take those questions with you into a breakout room. I'd like to get you all talking now, because we've been doing all the talking. I'm sure you're ready to chat with a few people. We're going to get you in groups of 4 and see if we're going to have 3 questions posted up here. So you'll have 1.5 minutes each to share. So that'll bring you to 6 minutes, Gary, right? If I can
Yes.
count. And then we have some promotional partners who I'd like Gary to talk about, but within each group, we will put one promotional partner. I'll see how I can manage that with a breakout room. And they will have a minute to talk about what they want you to know about them and their business. Okay.
Yeah, so at the end, so everyone has that conversation first, a minute and a half per person, the 3 questions you see on the screen here, and then the promotional partner. So thank you to all of our promotional partners. Many of them are here: Denisha Allen, Mary Lou, Isabel, Barbara, Haley. And so your role in there also, for if you're a promotional partner, we didn't mention your name, please, when you're in a breakout room, just kind of help facilitate the conversation, do the timekeeper of a minute and a half each per person, please, would be great. And then we'll wrap up here in the next 7 minutes. So Rosa, I think, is there anything else you want to say before you put them in the break, in the rooms here? The questions are on the screen here. Do you want to?
No, Gary, just give me a minute to get the rooms going. Let me
Okay.
see if I have those names. Can you just text me or put it in the personal chat for me, those names that I should put in each group? And
Yep.
while I'm waiting to get the rooms right, I just want you to take note of these questions up there and also to put in the chat some of the thoughts that are occurring to you right now. Just keep the conversation going while I do this.
So if I have to close this in order to put in chat, I think.
No. Oh, do you?
Well, or minimize it. So can you make a note if I just tell you here?
No, you can open the chat.
Okay. Oh, sorry, here we are.
It's on the worksheets that you gave us.
The names of the promotional partners?
Oh, I'm sorry. The questions that are showing on the PowerPoint.
Yeah, they're also on the first page. Yeah, just in the upper middle there. Yep, they're also there. Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate that.
Oh,
Oh, right. Okay, so you don't have to have them up here. Okay.
So I'm going to stop share then, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to give these to you, Rosa.
You know what, Gary, I think for these people that know, if they find 2 of them in a room,
Yeah.
come back out to the main room.
Yep.
And then let us know. Because
Perfect.
if we don't have names here, I really can't do it that way.
Okay.
So guys, go into your breakout rooms and I will give you a 1-minute warning.
And the questions will be in the chat as well. Chris, please. Thank you. Yep.
With my clients, to their entire life, hold their hands, because it's a journey, to ensure that they stay on track in achieving their financial. Thing that you said, Gary, it was about fuel. And I think money is fuel. It fuels your purpose. The purpose of a car is not to buy gas. The purpose of a car is to get you to a destination. And it's the same thing with our lives. Our purpose is not just to amass money, it is to make an impact to our generation and to our world, our sphere of influence. And so that's my passion. My passion is to help people achieve their financial goals. There's nothing more exciting to me than having somebody say, yes, I can retire and pour into my kids or start a ministry. And so that's my purpose.
Excellent.
And that's what I do for people. I'll put my information in the chat, and please reach out to me if you're getting started with your financial journey, or if you want a second pair of eyes on your investments to see if you are indeed on track. Thank you.
Thank you, Denisha. Yeah, please check her out. Contact her and have a conversation, because the more we can hang around with on purpose people, the more we're gonna be on purpose as well. So, thank you for sharing that.
Gary, just a second. Please use the reactions button and give her some love. Send some love over to the Thank you. Use that button down there. So Gary, can we just talk a little bit about what gets in the way of seeing your purpose or even finding what it is? Can you just give us a minute or so on that?
Yes, absolutely. So it's so the premise is that actually that our purpose, that vision we have is in our heart. in our subconscious, in our, in our soul. And it's in there. And so we just need to tap into it to get some of that, that the divine information, divine insight, revelation. But the challenge is that the ego, we all have an ego. It was developed when we were a young child to protect us mentally, emotionally, physically, and so on. And so what it does, well, imagine this, for example. So this is our heart. And the ego is around it, protecting us. That's its job, to protect us. So it's going to resist anything to do around purpose or doing something different and new. It's its job to resist and to help us to not to do that, and maybe have some fear and so on around it. So the key is to actually is to kind of get around the ego protection and tap into our soul, just like buried treasure, right? That your purpose is in your soul as buried treasure. So, and we'll talk more about that later in the workshop, et cetera, how we get through that. But that's one of the key reasons. And that, by the way, ego, just to wrap up here, ego includes, our belief systems, our conditioning, our brain patterning. It's all part of ego's sort of complex system, which is something we need to work and, get through. So it's a bit of a challenge, but it can definitely be done. Yes.
So wonderful, Gary. You're so good at helping us understand this. We could tell you've been working on this for a long time and teaching it. Gary has taught this to corporations, guys, not just to us individuals or entrepreneurs or a small group. So it's so delightful that this work is being done in the corporate world. I just want to acknowledge all of you people who have shared in the chat about what you discovered in your group. Some of you are at a 5, 6, 7, and I saw a couple of people at a 10. That's amazing. Ed, congratulations. Ed Skirka at a 10. And so thank you for sharing that. Gary, why don't you tell us what are the 7 steps to rediscover and act upon our life purpose? That would be really helpful just about now. Are you guys ready to hear this? If you are, put a yes in the chat for me, please, so we can give Gary some fuel to share his wisdom with us.
All right. Is this appearing? This slide here appearing?
Not yet. We just see your beautiful face.
Okay. And so yeah, this comes from developing this over over a period of 10 years, really, and the proven process it is. And so I'm just trying to, I'm not sure why this is.
Okay, they're ready to hear you, Gary. I see a ton of yeses.
Okay, good. Well, I'm just trying to get my PowerPoint to work properly with share screen.
Just giving you some love.
Thank you. So Chris, the share screen is not working here for me. So what do you suggest?
I can throw up on the PowerPoint on my screen if you'd like.
Yeah, please. In fact, yeah, please, that would be great. Thanks, Chris. And then I'll go through this. All right, good. Thank you. Okay, so, and this is also at the bottom of your handout, the 7 steps to rediscover and act upon your purpose. And first, I want to give you a really powerful visual because these are the sort of the psychological elements to what we go through. And why this is such a proven process, which was reflected in the 7 steps here. Yep. And so go ahead.
Thank you, Chris.
So is it, Chris, are you clicking or am I clicking through each one? Chris, okay, so yeah, so I'll just speak and you can click. So discover your passion. So this is all, lots of work around this in terms of intuitive work, intellectual work, and that'll be funneled down in terms of all the input we collect into knowing our purpose, into coming up with a vision and ultimately a purpose statement. So next, please, Chris. And crystallizing some goals. Yep, so personal mission and goals. And motivation to act is critical because I just talked about the ego. It's going to resist us from doing these things, like different things. Oh, I'm too busy, or I have fear, I'm not good enough. So we need to increase the internal motivation first to go through that, which we do partly through visualization and meditation. Next, please. And those powerful examples of what's happening for people there. And then build that positive expectation and belief in ourselves that we are here for a purpose, we're on our purpose, and we're moving forward and making a difference. And yeah, re-engage in that purpose and recommitment in our role. Absolutely. And click that one again, please. And so then we need to convert it to daily behavior that's aligned with our purpose. That's critical. And then we need support to maintain that as a new habit. And the next one is then we actually have fulfillment, like on a regular daily basis, and a contribution, and we become higher performing. So the end result is a win-win-win. So you win, you're on purpose. The people you're serving, like close to you, like a family or a client, and also the world wins. So we're literally leaving your legacy when you are on purpose. Would you concur, or what are your thoughts in the chat there? And let's keep going there, Chris. And then one more, please. There we go. Okay, so just a quick summary. These are actually they're on your page, on your handout there. So you can read them. I'm not going to say a whole lot about them here right now. And I'll go into each one in detail with the next slide, Chris. Yeah, and so this is where we're really, this is an exciting part of the journey, really, is we look back and we take inventory. Let's go back one, please. We take inventory over our life, and yep, good, perfect, right there, thank you. Over our life, and the areas where we had the most passion and love, and just where we felt alive. What were those times? What were we doing? What was common around those things? What was our greatest passion? In fact, shortly we'll do the passion test in a moment, and also look at our strengths and our talents. There's something called the strengths theory, which says that you can do something better than any other 10,000 people, that you have the talent, the strengths, that you're designed to do that. And so this is a really important fundamental piece that people get clarity on. And so we go to step 2 here, next one, and that is then we pull that together and we begin to crystallize our purpose, and with a vision, a powerful vision statement. And as we always continue to improve this process, we're improving how people can get more deep visions. And this is largely through when we do the closed eye visualization process, meditation, because we can get through the ego that way. And this is where we see the inside, and that's where a lot of the visions come from. And just like as you click again, Rosie's going to tell us.
Yeah, I'd love to share this testimonial, because this is a woman who I've known for over 8 years, and I know some of the wins and challenges. And when she shared this, it was just the perfect transformation from that visualization that we did. She said the On Purpose workshop is a joy. This is Adele. As a result of this workshop, I've made some exciting tweaks to the way I deliver my teachings. In one visualization activity, I received a clear download to incorporate into my classes my meditative/spiritual side. I started immediately to do so with great results. Thanks also, Gary and Rosa, for your warm and caring approach. Thank you, Adele. So this is just one example of what happens when you crystallize your why.
And step 3, thanks, Rosa, explore the possibilities and alignment of the how. And so as we gather all this in, we're going to begin to brainstorm what are all those ways I could deliver my purpose and be on purpose, and see what's in alignment with what you're doing now or what you could be doing differently. And so it's also a very powerful part of the process. And then step 4 is that then we're going to take those possibilities and select the goals that feel most right, most on purpose for us, and then just build those out into strategies and ownership, and we'll just keep going. So the rest of these are pretty self-explanatory. Operationalize into daily behavior, that's the critical part where we actually walk our talk on a daily basis. And so that's good, Chris. I think we're good, and people have it on their sheet there. So step 6, motivation to act, is that's where we want to really strengthen our intrinsic motivation. So that's going to overcome the fear and the ego and so on. So that's really the essence of the 7 steps. And I think now, Rosa, we're going to give you an example of one of those steps.
One of the tools, right? You're going to share one of the tools that you will be using in the workshop. And this is just a brief sampling. Guys, are you ready to have some fun? This is going to be fun and very revealing. So go, Gary. Let's hear what you have for us.
Yeah, so Chris, let me see if I can share my screen here, which I think I can. So we're going to do the passion test. Some of you have heard of the passion test, I believe. Here we are. And yeah, so it's on the back side of your handout. And so this is just going to be like, we're just going to give you a few minutes, like 3 minutes actually. And as it says at the top of the description, list 10 things. You can do the 10 later, but do 5 now that bring you the most joy fulfillment in your life. When I answer the question.
Okay, would you guys mute your mics just for the end, besides Gary and myself?
Thank you. So, and you can see there in bold, when my life, my work, my business ideal, I am being or doing or having, and consider all those areas of your life, okay? And so I'm going to ask you, like, don't overthink it. Just the first thing that comes to mind. We're only going to give you 3 minutes here. So this is going to be really coming out of your heart, not out of your mind. So, so go. I'm going to put a timer on. If you have any questions, just ask.
Gary, are we typing this in the chat or are we just speaking about the 5?
You can just put it on your handout if you have a handout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or just on a blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, this is for you. Yeah, this is for you mostly.
So that is the 5 things that would give you the most joy and fulfillment in your life. That should be top of mind. So you should be just about done. If you're done, just put done in the chat.
So another 2 minutes, I believe. But if we're all done, then we'll come back earlier. And then I'll be asking someone just to, as a volunteer, and not to share what they've written down, but just so I can explain the process, which is a very simple but powerful process to identify your top ones of all the ones you've listed.
Yeah, we've got a couple dones.
If you're done and you have a moment here still, 60 seconds left, you can fill in the rest if you haven't already, like the 10, your top, your 10 that you've listed. So just another 20 seconds, please. And I'll be looking for a volunteer. There we go. All righty. So who would volunteer just so I can explain how to walk through the selection process, please? Irina, so can you unmute yourself, please? Thank you for volunteering.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I don't
Okay.
do this right, so, but this is an experiment, so.
Yeah. That's great. So I'm just going to explain to you and to everyone how they can complete this later on, so you can get your top ones. So it's called a binary decision-making process. Simple but really powerful to get your top priorities. Okay. So in this case, it'd be your greatest passion for each person. So Irina, take the first one on your list and compare it to the second one on your list. Everyone can do the same. And so if you can only have one of those, you can probably have them both, but if you can only have one, which one would win? Which one would you want the most? Just say number one or number two.
Number 1.
Okay, so number one wins. So, and then now you're going to take the winner down the list to number 3 on your list. And so if you compare the number 1 and number 3 on your list, which one of those would win?
It's a hard one. um,
You want the most.
Number 3.
Okay, great. So number 3 is now 1. So she's going to take the winner and compare it to the next one on the list, which is number 4. And so which one would win there?
Number 3.
Number 3 still winning. So compare it to number 5 now. You keep going down the list with the winner.
Number 3.
Well, okay. And do you have any more on your list, or is that your list complete?
I only got a chance to do 5. Sorry.
Perfect. Okay, good. So you got it. So now take that number 3, whatever that is, and write it the next section down where it says my top 4 feel the best to me are. So you've just, and when you have 10, you do the same process, and you've just determined your top 1 out of that whole list of 5 or 10. Okay. And then later on, folks, you can go back and do this. Highly encourage you to do this when we're all done, is then go through the list again. And so start at the first one, compare it to the second one, whichever wins, go through the list. And every time you have a winner, you take them off the list so you don't compare them again, right? When you've got a winner at the end, take them off your initial list so you don't compare them again. Okay, so that's how it works. It's powerful, and encourage you. I mean, this is just one of many tools that we're using, but it's powerful and simple and very effective. So Irina, thank you for volunteering. And so you've got it. So everyone, please go through your lists, and we're gonna keep going on here. Thanks, Irina.
Gary,
Yes.
can I ask a question?
Sure.
On the slides where you had the 7 steps,
Mhm.
I heard the word workshop from Rosa. Can you explain what the connection is with that?
Between Rosa and I?
No, I heard Rosa use the word workshop, and I also saw those 7 steps. So can you share what the connection is with those steps in the workshop? Because I don't think everybody in here is aware, at least from my end, the folks that I brought in.
So Gary, let me address that a little bit.
Yeah,
So
thanks. I didn't really clear to hear that question. Okay.
Isabel, are you talking about the ultimate guide to networking in 7 steps? Is that the one that you saw?
So the page with the 7 steps,
It-
you mentioned the word workshop prior to him going through it.
Yeah, so in my workshops, it's more about entrepreneurs and networking and connecting and so on. So the workshop that I have is the ultimate guide to networking in 7 steps. That's on my website that you might have heard about. That has nothing to do with this workshop, which is 7 steps also. It's 2 completely different workshops.
But I think I see what you're saying now, Isabel, that the 7 steps are in our Living on Purpose workshop. So yes, that's what the workshop is. In fact, we're going to talk about that right now,
Yes.
about what it takes ultimately in terms of what it takes to actually get clarity on your purpose. And so, yeah, so Isabel, thanks for the segue there. That was divine timing. Yes. And so, you know, it takes time. Like, this is a soulful, reflective process. We need to take time out of our busy schedules if we're really serious about this. You know, if we're truly serious about living on purpose and making a true difference and being fulfilled. That, it takes commitment, it takes time, and it's tough to do because of all our demands, and the ego gets in the way. So. That's why we are encouraging people to consider this workshop, which we're going to talk about in more detail here. And it's like, many people actually spend more time planning their vacation than they spend planning their life, you know? And so we do need to dedicate time at this. Would you agree, Rosa?
Oh my goodness, that's so true. I mean, how many people can relate when we're going on vacation, how much time we spend going shopping, getting the right outfits, getting the right color suitcase, depending on who we're going to see, getting the right sandals and shoes, the right bathing suit. It takes a lot of time to coordinate the trips, and we spend weeks preparing, and we don't mind spending those hours preparing for a trip, right? But do we take those hours to invest in our own path? That's the question here. So if any of you have been guilty of spending hours and hours and hours spending a trip, I want to see from you in the chat. Yes, me too. I've done that. And now we're just asking you to put a few hours to invest in yourself. And what I've been reading about today, some amazing people, you know, one of them said, you know, it takes courage to jump out and make a decision to invest in yourself. It takes courage and it takes bravado to say, yes, my time is now. It's about me. I need to take care of me. And taking care of me does not only mean going to the spa and getting our nails done. Well, from a woman's point of view, that's what we do, okay? From Gary's point of view, you probably do very different things.
Oh, yeah.
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 But,
Good,
yeah,
Rosa.
take
So,
it away, Gary.
So I want to give you an example of someone who is taking this seriously, put the time in. And I believe that Janet is here. Janet McLeod-Warto, who's a copywriter, who was through our last workshop. And Janet's just going to take a moment to, and thanks, Janet, for coming and just sharing what you got out of it, because you really did work the 7-step process. So Janet, Chris, can you find Janet in here? There she is. Thank you, Janet. Thank you so much.
Hi. Hi, Gary. Hi, Rosa. And hi, everybody here.
Hi, let's give
Yeah,
us.
I can certainly vouch for what you can get out of this workshop, because the first little bit, there is a lot of thinking and sort of taking the time to sort of focus in on who we really are. And that really worked for me. I realized some things about myself that I hadn't really incorporated into my work life. One, I realized that I spend a lot of time trying to build community, and that's special to me, both professionally and personally. And I hadn't worked that into my work niche. And when I put that together with my work niche, I came up with a fabulous niche that's really something I can be passionate about and that I feel I can really contribute to as well. And so I love my job even more. And I also have an opportunity to work for even better clients. So that's how it worked for me. And it did take a few hours, but the payoff has been amazing.
That's excellent, Janet. And I think you were saying it probably saved you months or even years in terms of.
Yes. Yeah. I probably would have spent maybe 2-3 years getting to that point.
Well done. And you've just begun, right? You're going for it.
Yes, I really am going for it now. And I love it. I love getting to work in the morning.
That's fantastic.
So Janet.
Well, Janet, we love you as well. Thank you for sharing, and we're grateful for you.
Yeah.
What you do.
And I'll let you get back to it. And I had another engagement that I was supposed to be at tonight, so I'll let you carry on.
Thank you, Janet. We really appreciate that.
So awesome.
Thank you.
So Gary, I realize but there's so much material. We probably have to skip a little bit here.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So let me just touch on this, and we won't talk about the mic thing, and then we'll go right into what the program is. How does that sound?
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, great. So I want to just share with you. So what you'll really get, we're going to ask you to consider this 7-step process called Living on Purpose Workshop. And what it's going to do for you, really, it's going to help you to really rediscover your greatest passion in a really short period of time and get much more clarity on your purpose, on your vision, and the goals that'll come out of that. And the key is to crystallize the right goals that are in alignment with your purpose, and then they're going to be like 90% more achievable, aren't they? And then we crystallize it down into the daily behaviors and actions, and taking inspired action is the key, and alignment with all this. We just align it all. It's all aligned with your purpose and your passion. The end result is that you will have a written on purpose life plan, which includes everything, your purpose statement, your vision, your goals, your strategies, all of that, and your values and so on. And then so you walk away with that and the support that you'll be getting as well to help you stay actually on track and being accounted for and helping you to actually stay on track with this. So it's a powerful process. And the key is when we do all this, then does it make sense that if we have for fulfilling our purpose with a good plan and good strategies and with great passion, that we should have higher performance? Does that make sense? And if so, please let us know in chat what you think about that, because that's part of the design of this as well. Because remember, the clearer the purpose is, your purpose is, the greater the life you will live. And let us know if you concur with that one as well. And as we see that, I'm going to go to tell you more of the specifics about what the program actually involves. Living on Purpose. How do you like that title? Living on Purpose Workshop. Yes?
Yes, we renamed it from the last time.
I'm just going to pull up my PowerPoint slide here. Here we go.
How many of you would really like to be living on purpose and be on fire with your life? Just put in the chat, yes, on fire. I'm ready. Let's ignite people tonight, Gary.
Absolutely, because now's the time. Like this is it, folks, right? That we need to show up because we don't know how long we have. We get one shot at this. And so we would like you to be one of the 100 people who are living on purpose. And this is what you'll receive. It'll be 6 evenings, 7 to 9 p.m. every second week. So 2-hour facilitated session, just like this, a Zoom meeting with great high quality people. There's tons of learning that occurs with all the people. You'll receive a 40-page workbook. And lots of time between the sessions every 2 weeks to do the reflective session time. It's very soulful, very deep. It's very powerful. And then the sessions will be recorded if you want to review it or if you miss it. And lots of other components to help you be successful as well, which I won't go into in full detail there. You can see them listed. But for only $397, plus $122 in our bonuses, which we'll explain here momentarily. So $519 in value for only $397. My screen is frozen here again. Let me go out of it. For $297 is the early bird special. So it saves you $100. And then we also have the opportunity for you to invite a partner, accountability partner. So I'm just going to share this here. Sorry, I'm having a bit of difficulty with my system here. Can you see this?
If you invite a friend to do this with you, you actually get $100 off that you can split between you. So one person will get it at $197, one will pay $297, but that $100 you can split between you.
You got it. Yep. Good. Excellent. So, and if you have questions, you can ask us in more detail later on, but we believe it's good value, and encourage you, if you're ready, and some of you have already pre-registered, and the link is in the bottom there. It's also in the chat. And those who have already pre-registered, just let us know who you are in the chat as we
just say I've registered. And if you are ready to register, just say yes, ready. And, we will talk with you tonight. You can stick around later. And Gary, is this a time where we could talk about the bonus that's included in here? So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have the next slide, but what you're getting for that, really the value is $597. because you're also getting Gary's book. This is a wonderful book for everybody to read. It's such an easy and inspiring read. He's got, how many stories have you got in there, Gary?
25.
25 stories of great Canadian leaders who've actually found their purpose and moved into faith during that time and following a life of faith with their purpose. And this book has the stories about those human beings. It's so powerful. You will have that book in this program delivered to you. You have access to a 20 to 30 minute clarity coaching session with me. That's 20 minutes is usually $97, and that's yours for free. So combined with his book and that's an additional 122. So plus your 397, it totals a 519 value. And tonight we're giving that 519 value for 297. So you're saving over 40%, and that ends on Friday. So it's great if you know right now, they say the best decisions are made from your heart. If your heart is telling you yes, don't delay, just go for it, because this is about your freedom. What does it mean to you to actually be living on purpose? What do you think that will give you? Is it freedom? Is it time? Is it calmness? Can you put some thoughts in the chat for us so we know what you will get out of it if you just actually dive in and find your purpose?
Yeah, you know, that's what Dale Carnegie's book says, The Think and Grow Rich, right? Successful people make a decision quickly and they follow through on it. So we're just asking you, if you think this is a good idea, and a powerful question is, you know, will this idea take me in the direction of my dream and my goal, or will move me in the opposite direction? And, you know, that's a powerful but simple question. And ask yourself that. Will this program move me in the direction of my goal? And to follow, as Rosa said, follow that quiet voice within, your intuition, which always gives us the right answer. Yeah. So Rosa, I think we're going to do...
I just want to say, we want you to know that we will be walking beside you. We are there for your support. You can call on Gary and myself at any time through the program when you're doing your assignments. So you can text or email us, either one of us, and we're there with you. So we're on this journey with you. Okay, you're not alone.
Yeah, we're totally committed to you being successful on purpose. Absolutely. Yeah. Rose, I think we should help them and give them a sample of the visualization experience just briefly to help them get a bit more clarity on their possible on purpose future.
Okay, then let's do that. That's just going to take us a few minutes. So we're going to ask you, we're going to ask you to move around a bit now. Just do a quick visualization with us. We usually have visualizations in the workshop, and this is just a quick sampling, about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so if you can stand up, actually, I want you to really stand up. I'm going to be sitting down so that you can see me, but if you can stand up and do this. Okay, so as you stand, anybody standing? Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now, imagine drawing a line in front of your feet and give the line a color. Blue, green, red. See it clearly. This line is important because it separates your current reality on this side of the line from your future reality on the other side of the line. See your current reality, your life today. Get in touch with that. And while you're here on this side of the line, I want you to think about, what more do you want in your life? Why did you show up tonight? What more are you looking for? What's missing? What part of you is not being fulfilled? How clear are you about your purpose? Imagine you're approaching your deathbed. This is not a practice one. We only get one shot at it. If you were now in your deathbed, you will be in one of two places. You would be either fulfilled or full of regret. Imagine you're there now. Would you be in regret of some things that you haven't yet accomplished, that you've put off? Are there dreams that you've let die within yourself that still pains you when you think that you haven't done it? You can begin to change that right now. By getting out of your deathbed and stepping over the line, that colored line you drew, step over that line into a brighter, fulfilling, contributing, on purpose future. Imagine yourself living your most passionate dream, doing what you love, serving, transforming other people's lives, travel, being financially independent, spending time with your family, being filled with joy, fulfillment, peace, and love as you are living on purpose and serving and contributing to many others. Feel that. Get into your body sensation and feel that. That's where the truth lives. The world needs you to show up on purpose. The world is waiting for you. What are you waiting for? Make a decision, step over that line if you haven't done so yet, to ensure that you will be on the fulfilled side and not regret side of your deathbed. Because you have lived a fulfilling, contributing, on purpose life, on fire. As you're there, visualize that, compile the elements of that future, record it in your brain so that you can quickly make a few notes as you sit down. You can now feel proud of yourself that you made a decision to consciously begin to activate your purposeful future. Take a few deep breaths as you open your eyes and you feel inspired to act on your future. Congratulations.
Yes, and let's follow our heart. Absolutely. Follow your heart, because there is a purpose, a vision, a dream within each one of us. And so we want to encourage you, as we are, to step into your truth, into your reality for yourself, honor yourself, and serve the world. And so, yeah, follow your heart. And a few people still have some questions. We realize that we're going to give you an opportunity to have a discovery call with Rosa or I this week, just 20 minutes, to help answer some of those questions for yourself. Chris is going to put it in the chat, our calendar links. And so, yes, please book a time with us. It'll be first come, first serve. And so please make sure you can go ahead and do that. And I'm going to put it on the screen here as well. Here we are. And yeah, so we'll help you.
Before you do that, Gary, I just want to ask, in that exercise, did anybody see anything clearer? Did it help you to make a decision as to whether you're ready to do this program with us? And if you think something shifted in there for you, just put a comment in the chat for us so we have an idea. Okay, or say I'm ready, or I definitely want in. So just communicate with us. Thank you. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I think we're pretty done. We just encourage you to let's have a conversation with, just pick on whoever link you want with Rosa or myself, or 20 minutes this week. So the $297 early bird pricing is good until Friday the 14th at midnight. And so we'd love to connect with you. And even if you don't decide to do this, how can we help? How can we serve you to be more and more on purpose in your life? Or if you're on purpose, what are all the different ways that you could do that, which we find a lot of business people are finding? There's different ways I can achieve, like Janet just said, right? It was a brand new way. So let's have that conversation and see how we can be of service to you to be living on purpose.
So thank you, Gary. And so make sure you take advantage of the sessions with us, the discovery sessions with Gary and myself. No obligation there. Just talk to us. Ask us all the questions you want. If we'd like to wrap it up here, but if you have a comment about what you got from us today, just quickly, popcorn style, just give us a word. You can put it in the chat, but if you have a burning question, then that's the only question we can answer right now. But because when we formally close, we will hang back and sit and chat with you. Is there a burning question that somebody has that they really need answered before we wrap up? No? We've answered a lot of your questions. Good. Okay.
Well, actually, I want on that point, I just want to add. So,
Yes.
Les Brown, most of us know Les Brown. We probably think
Yes.
the powerful personal development expert. He says, I love this quote. I want to leave you this as my closing comments, formally, so to speak, that the two most important days of our life are the day we were born and the day that we discover why we were born. And so again, we want to encourage you to just take a step today, follow that quiet voice within, and come and join us on this amazing discovery journey for you, which will bring great clarity and purpose and power and commitment to you and your life going forward. So join us, take that step today to know why you were born.
So beautiful. And I just want to say, get your mind on board with what your heart knows to be true. And with that, I usually have something called the town hall gathering of hearts and minds in business, because I believe very strongly in blending the heart and mind in business, not negating the mind and just opening the heart, or vice versa, but blending them. So bring your heart together with your mind tonight when you're making any decisions, not just this one. And you're welcome to come to that town hall gathering tomorrow. Actually, I should have put the link in here. Maybe I'll just pop it in. And while I'm doing that, I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. It was so exciting to have you all here. I feel like I've met with a bunch of my friends in here, and it's just so exciting that you all showed up tonight and gave us your time. Thank you.
So grateful. We look forward to talking. Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording just so everybody knows.
So great. I don't know